Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Vrinda Vikagiri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupar Shuttara Shuttashmar Bhaktivedānta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrī Gurudev Ki Jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupar Shuttara Shuttashmar Bhaktivedānta Vāmana Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupara Shutara Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupāda Ki Jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupara Shutara Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityal Vishnu Vishnupara Shutara Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Gosvāmī Prabhupāda Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Bhagavat Śrīla Gosvāmī Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivedānta Thakur Ki Jai. Nityal Pravishta Vaiṣṇavas Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Śrī Rūpānu Gaurya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Śrī Rūp Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Śrī Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Gunath Char Gosai Prabhu Ki Jai. Śrī Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandal, Kora Mandal, Vaja Mandal, Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya Ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. All right, let's do Jai Join Mangalacharan. Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Today I'm going to do full Mangalacharan. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Narayaniti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Keśava Bhinna Rupine Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Vāmaniti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedānta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Sarasvatī Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Acharya Singharupine Shishimar Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava iti namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī iti namine. Namo Gaur Kishoraya Shakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padam Bujayate Namaha. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaur Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Parayate Gauravir Bhava Bhumestang Nirdeshta Sajana Priya Vaiṣṇavas Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannatayate Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaiṣṇavebhyo namo namaha. Smara Gaura Gadadhara Kelikalam Bhava Gaura Gadadhara Pakshachara Shrinu Gaura Gadadhara Charukatham Bhaja Godrumakanana Kunja Vidum. tavaivasmi na jivami tvaya vina. Iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshaya. Shiptashtakama ditaranga madhe. Kripa maitam sharanam prapanna. Vrinde namaste charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. One second, I'm just going to close my door. All right. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Archana Mataji, Mayank Gupta ji, Chatamai Mataji, Gokuleshwari Didi, and let's see, on YouTube and Facebook, there are 9 devotees so far. I only see the names of those who write comments, so I'm not ignoring you. If you're there, if you write a comment, then I'll see who you are. But Dandavat Pranams, Prajñāna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Phuleshwari Didi. Oh, and Mahibharat Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams Prabhu, and Vangshiwala Prabhu, and I'm guessing Raseshwari Mataji and Dira Mataji, maybe my brother Krishna Murari, and everybody else. Dandavat Pranams. Oh, one second. Give me one second. I have YouTube open and I can hear myself talking right now. Okay, that was distracting. All right. So today we have a special program. I forgot who brought up the point. If it was Archana Mataji or maybe Gokuleshwari.
Yes,
Didi or
Prabhu, I was
Chaitanya
the one.
Is you? Yeah? Okay. Yes, is you. Okay. So today I thought, yeah, I remember now. And so today I thought we would read articles on the topic of what to do when sadhu-saṅga is far away. There's actually an article written by Śrīla Bhakti. Well, I think it was from a letter that he wrote, but a letter from Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur Prabhupāda. And the title is "The Means of Attaining Welfare when Sadhu-saṅga is Far Away." That was like the exact question that Archana Mataji was asking, or point that she was making. And so, yeah, today it's going to be. So we're going to first read that article, our letter, and then we will read an article by my Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Brigyan Keśava Gosvāmī Maharaj, titled Śāstrīya Sādhu-saṅga. And then I have a few quotes by Śrīla Vāmana Gosvāmī Maharaj. No, few quotes by Śrīla Prabhupada that I just found like right now. If anybody has any other quotes on the topic of studying Shastra, reading, and like that, please share with me. Because yeah, I just last minute, right before we started, I was searching online for quotes by Śrīla Prabhupada on how to study Shastra, like on this topic. And then also I have some quotes by Śrīla Vāmana Gosvāmī Maharaj from the letter book that we worked on recently. So yeah, we'll just dive right into it. Dandavat pranams, Rukmini Didi, Haribo. All right. I haven't read these articles for a long time. I wanted to read it before we started, but didn't get around to it, which is very typical of me. So the means of attaining welfare when sadhu-saṅga is far away. And this was published in, if anybody wants to find this article, can search on Google, just type in Rays of the Harmonist number 21, and this issue will come up. It is translated from the Śrīla Prabhupāda Patravali. That's his collection of his letters. So, yeah, letter by Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur Prabhupada. This is written from Sri Chaitanya Math, Sri Mayapur, 22nd December, 1927. In the letter published in Srila Prabhupada Patravali, the recipient was kept anonymous. Okay. Yesterday, I received your letter from the name of the messenger, from blank. Yeah, in all the letter books from all of our acharyas, like in the Bengali, they always redact every single name. I don't know. We don't do that with the Srila Prabhupada's letters, but yeah, kind of find it annoying when they do, but I guess it's, I don't know. So yesterday I received your letter from blank. I also received a letter from you many days ago, even before I went to the Western districts, but I could not reply to it in time due to my travels there. You can find out about the festivals and programs that were held in various places in the Western districts by reading the Gaudiya magazine or by hearing the devotees. Gaudiya was the weekly periodical that Srila Sarasvatī Thakur published in Bengali. Righteous people everywhere are becoming joyful and satisfied by hearing the message of Sriman Mahaprabhu. For the devotees of Bhagavan, Sri Navadvip Dham is a place of utmost reverence. Every place in this Dham awakens remembrance of Bhagavan within one's heart. For this reason, I especially desire to live here for a few more days. But according to what is necessary for the sake of service to Sri Hari, I shall have to travel to other places like Kolkata. Sriman Mahaprabhu is extremely merciful. He has therefore arranged that so many devotees are present, even in a place like Kolkata. In Sri Gaudiya Math, Hari Katha, discussions of Lord Hari flows constantly, and everyone has become intoxicated by their intense engagement in service. It is most appropriate for me to thoroughly embrace such association for the rest of my life. Like when Sri Parikshit Mahārāja heard Srimad Bhagavatam for the last days of his life. In these last days of my life, a place devoid of Harikatha, even if it were occupied by all my kith and kin and full of all material comforts, seems utterly undesirable to me. By the mercy of the Supreme Lord, seeing how the inclination to devotedly serve Bhagavan is present within all the mats, I constantly think of the benevolence of Sriman Mahaprabhu. I once spent my life preferring to drink the happiness that is derived from the objects of material sense perception. But today, wherever I go, I am able to serve Śrī Bhagavān and gain the association of his devotees. By spending however many days we have left in our lives like this, we shall never live in misery by becoming averse to Śrī Hari. You are not hearing enough Harikatha from the lips of the devotees who are inclined towards serving Śrī Bhagavān and who are wrapped in Hari Bhajan. You're not listening to enough Harikatha. 1 second. Okay. Because of this, you do not appreciate your good fortune. However, the fact that you constantly remain inclined to serve Śrī Hari keeps you aloof from a diverse association. When you're on your own, you should always read the Gaudiya and the devotional literatures written by other Vaiṣṇavas. This will, in itself, enable you to reap the benefit of listening to Harikatha from the lips of the devotees. It's interesting, huh? You should always read the Gaudiya and other devotional literatures written by other Vaishnavas. This will in itself enable you to reap the benefit of listening to Harikatha from the lips of the devotees. While living on this earth, we do not get the direct association of many devotees from the transcendental realm. But because the conversations and pastimes of the devotees who are present during the manifest pastimes of Sriman Mahaprabhu perpetually exist in the form of sacred texts, granthas, and sound vibration, shabda, our words, we do not feel so much pain in our worldly troubles. If in this world we live amidst the discussion and message of the transcendental world, our reflections on that message will keep us aloof from worldly pain. No matter where you find yourself, that divine Harikatha will never abandon you. To be sure, you will even remember Bhagavan and comprehend the topic of bhakti within all the things of this world. By the sublime will of the Lord, I may again have the opportunity to visit all these places in the western districts, and you would again get the chance to listen to Harikatha. But it is certainly appropriate for a devotee to forget his misery and live in whatever condition Bhagavan is pleased to keep him in. The ordinary people of this material world cannot understand the divine message of Bhagavan, of Sriman Mahaprabhu, or of the transcendent nature and qualities of his devotees. Only when the inclination to serve Bhagavan arises in one's heart can one remember Shri Hari under all circumstances. Since you are always endeavoring for your spiritual welfare, Bhagavan is manifesting all his transcendental narrations, the message of Godhead, within your heart through the medium of the devotional literatures. It is written in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Jato dekho Vaiṣṇaver vyavahar dukh, nishchoy jani hoshe para ananda sukh. That's from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhyakanda 9:240. Know this is the meaning. Know this for certain. Whatever you may perceive as ordinary misery in a Vaishnav is in fact his greatest joy. So that he may test us within this world, Bhagavan always remains hidden. Our superficial perception can only diminish by comprehending his presence underlying everything. I like that. So he may test us within this world. Bhagavan always remains hidden. He's testing us, but we should see him underlying everything. His presence underlying everything. Adyapi she lila kore gorai kon kon deki bhagyavane deki bare pai. Even today, Gaur Rai is performing his pastimes, but only a few most fortunate souls can see them. When will that most fortunate day come for us, when we will all become travelers on the path of bhakti by following in the footsteps of Sri Gaurasundar in every respect? This world is but a place where the Supreme Lord examines us. To excel in that examination, one must hear Harikatha of Hari. One must hear Kirtan of Hari, performed by his devotees. And you are hearing that Kirtan through the medium of devotional literature. Therefore, it is by no means appropriate for you to consider yourself deprived. Once, a long time ago, Hiranyakashipu declared everywhere that Bhagavan does not exist in this world. On many occasions, he brutally confronted his son Prahlad in an attempt to force him to accept this conclusion. But then Sri Nrsimhadev appeared from within a pillar and generated spiritual welfare for Hiranyakashipu and the entire world. The devotees of the Lord perceive their Lord at all times and in all things. But those who are envious of him cannot even comprehend that he exists at all. We who are situated somewhere in between, that we're, it's not that we don't accept that the Lord is, like, we're not like Hiranyakashipu fully, like, we have some
marginal energy.
Yes.
Tatastha Shakti, right? So,
but I'm wondering if he's referring to the Tatastha Shakti or if he's just referring, because he says, he gave the example of Hiranyakashipu, and then he's saying the devotees of the Lord perceive the Lord at all times and in all things. But those who are envious of him cannot even comprehend that he exists at all. So that's what I was getting, is that he was referring to this previous sentence, that the devotees of the Lord perceive the Lord at all times and in all things, And we might not always perceive him at all times and in all things, but we also believe that he exists. So we're somewhere in between. That's what I was guessing. But I don't know. Maybe it could also mean that we're Tatastha Shakti Jivas. So we who are situated somewhere in between are sometimes inclined towards devotional service to Hari, but the very next moment, we absorb ourselves in sense gratification. Due solely to our desire to engage in devotional service, we will gradually escape our entanglement in all forms of material sense enjoyment. Fleeting happiness and distress is always present in mundane sense gratification. But devotional service, bhakti, which is eternal, gives bliss to Bhagavan. With the aim of giving that bliss to Bhagavan, we can remain perpetually engaged in his service. I am not sure whether or not you will get any instantaneous benefit by reading this detailed letter. My communication skills are extremely poor. Since I am not able to make everything understandable to everyone, I often remain silent. Here in Sri Chaitanya Math, all the activities have begun that are necessary before the commencement of the festival. Your eternal well-wisher, Śrī Siddhanta Sarasvatī. Isn't that a great letter? I really liked, where was it? There were a few sentences here that also especially stood out to me.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. This was so wonderful. I just wondered what was in the beginning when Siddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktisiddhānta Saraswati Thakur said that he was somewhere in the western world, western area.
Western districts. I think he was referring to Western districts in India.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think he ever went outside India. Yeah. I love this sentence right here. No matter where you find yourself, that divine Harikatha will never abandon you. We may abandon the Harikatha, but the Harikatha will never abandon us. So we never have any excuse. We should never, yes, this world. If in this world we live amidst the discussion and message of the transcendental world, our reflections on that message will keep us aloof from worldly pain. No matter where you find yourself, that divine Harikatha will never abandon you. So many gems in this article. Really nice one. Anyhow, okay. So now we will move on to the next thing. This is an article by my Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja, called Śāstrīya Sādhu-saṅga. This was published, I think it's Raise of the Harmonist 2001, winter edition. It was translated from Gaudiya Patrika. Okay. The following is a translation of a Bengali lecture given by Srimad Bhakti Bhagwan Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja. One second, I just need to drink some water. On this one, anyways, never mind. On Haribol Sarveshwari Mataji, I didn't see you before. There you go. Oh, and Dandavat Pranams, Shripad Bhaktivedānta Sajan Mahārāja, Haribol Mahārāja, and Vidyalala Sadidi, Haribol. In this particular issue of Raise of the Harmonists, the articles are a little bit less edited than normal. Sometimes the English is a little bit. Is this that one magazine I remember? Is sometimes maybe a little bit too much Sanskrit. I think we started making it a little bit more reader friendly. But this one's, I don't know. I might skip some words here and there though, just letting you know. Okay. So starts off with this verse in its class. Chintamanir jayati somagirir gurur me shiksha guruscha bhagavan shikipincha moli yat padakalpataru pallava shekareshu lila swayamvara rasang labhate jaya shri. Sajan Maharaj says, please forward this ecstatic letter. Okay, I will. I will. Okay, so this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, first chapter, verse 57. This is written by Bilva Mangal Thakur, right? This is is it the first verse to Krishna Karnamrita? I think so, but I don't know. All glories to Chintamani, my initiating spiritual master, Somagiri. All glories to my instructing spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who wears peacock feathers in his crown. Under the shade of his lotus feet, which are like desire trees, Jaya Shri Radharani enjoys the transcendental mellow of an eternal consort. All glories to he. So one second. Feel a sneeze coming, but it went away. Okay. All glories to him whom Shri Krishna, the beloved life and soul of Shri Radha, considers to be more dear than his own life. All glories to he who is Nayantar, the star of the eye of Shri Radha, who is the all in all of Shri Krishna. All glories to that personality who is the eternal companion of Shri Gauranga and Shri Radha Govinda, and who is the only friend, shelter, and very life in existence of fallen souls like me. All glories to Shri Gurudev, my eternal master, who is the eternally worshipable Lord of my heart, the deliverer of the fallen, the most magnanimous, and an ocean of compassion. All glories to that wish-fulfilling jewel, that Chintamani Swarup, Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Prabhupāda, the personal associate of Gaur and Radha, Gaur Radhe Nijajan, the dust of whose lotus feet alone is the object of my constant longing and is my supreme necessity. May that Prabhu, who does not see the faults of others, who is Adosha Darshi, and who is the friend of the destitute and lowly, Dinabandhu, may he cast his merciful glance upon me. By his own qualities, may he forgive the offenses of a fallen offender like me, thus giving me the opportunity of his eternal service. This is my only prayer and submission at his lotus feet. I am ignorant, blind, and fallen. I do not know, nor have I tried to know, what is auspicious and what is inauspicious. However, my Sri Guru Parma came from Goloka to this world only to help me. His heart was afflicted with the burden of distress upon seeing my averse nature, and after some time he returned to his eternal abode. He alone mercifully made people like me, who are blinded with ignorance, acquainted with the fact that there is no other means of welfare besides sadhu-saṅga, and no way to attain the mercy and service of Bhagavan other by obtaining sadhu seva and sadhu kripa. Only those who are fully dedicated to Bhagavan, who are Bhagavad Anugata, and exclusively surrendered to Krishna, Krishnaika Sharan, are sadhus. The association of such sadhus is the only desirable thing for us, because it alone bestows the highest welfare. In one sense, only sadhus are the life of one's very life. No one is my friend and supreme well-wisher besides the sadhus, or the bhaktas of Gaurasundar. By my Gurudev's grace, I have received the opportunity to hear such an auspicious message. I have not only obtained the opportunity to hear from him, but also to associate with him, which is rarely attained even by the demigods, as well as to associate with his nijajans, with his personal associates. It is only because of this that a fallen and degraded person like me became successful. Thus, how can I find any shelter or support other than by praying for mercy at the lotus feet of my Prabhu, the deliverer of the fallen, and the friend of the world. I pray to him, folding my hands and bowing my head. Adadanastrinam dantair idang yache puna puna Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dhuli Syam Janma Janmani. This fallen soul stands with a straw in his teeth and ceaselessly begs to attain the dust of the lotus feet of Srimad Rupa Gosvāmī, birth after birth. That's from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's Shri Dan Keli Chintamani, verse 175. There is no means for us to attain the highest welfare other than through Sādhu-saṅga. And therefore, it is instructed in Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11:26-26. Tato dusangamutsrejya satsu sajeta buddhiman santa eva sechindanti manovyasangamuktibi. An intelligent person should therefore reject all bad association and instead take up the association of saintly devotees, whose words cut off the excessive attachment of one's mind. One should take sat-saṅga, giving up all types of asat-saṅga. By the influence of sadhu-saṅga, in other words, by the sharp words emanating from the pure devotees' lotus mouths, the hidden fantasy of the mind in the form of desires for sense enjoyment, and also the covered desires for sense enjoyment in the form of desire for renunciation, all these are dispelled from the heart forever. How does it happen? By the sharp words emanating from the pure devotee's lotus mouth, and the hidden fantasy of the mind, and the covered, when the desires for sense enjoyment and renunciation are dispelled from the heart forever. There will be no path to attain auspiciousness and Bhagavat Priti if one becomes indifferent towards such sadhu-saṅga and sadhu-seva. Although such sadhu-saṅga is extremely rare, it is not completely unattainable for one who prays for it without duplicity, with sincerity, and with the knowledge that it is very difficult to receive the association of a sadhu in this world of asadhus, of non-devotees. Although such sadhu-saṅga is extremely rare, it is not completely unattainable for one who prays for it without duplicity, with sincerity, and with knowledge that it is very difficult to receive the association of a sadhu in this world of asadhus. Bhagavan mercifully appears in this world to give his saṅga, and sometimes he sends his dear devotees. We see in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sadhu paya koshto boro jiver janiya, Sadhu guru rupe Krishna aila nadiya. Knowing that it is very difficult for a jiva to come across a sadhu, Krishna himself appeared as a sadhu and guru in Nadia. Shri Krishna Chaitanya ar Prabhu Nityananda, Jahar Prakashe Sarva Jagat Ananda. The appearance of Shri Krishna Chaitanya and Prabhu Nityananda has surcharged the world with auspiciousness. That's from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila 181, chapter 180, verse 87. Dui bhai hridayer khali andakar, Dui bhagavat sange karana shakshatkar. This is same chapter, verse 98. These two brothers, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, dissipate the darkness of the inner core of the heart, and thus they help one meet the two kinds of Bhagavats. The two kinds of Bhagavats, persons or things in relationship with the personality of Godhead. What are the two kinds of Bhagavats? Eko Bhagavata Boro Bhagavata Shastra Ar Bhagavata Bhakta Bhakti Rasa Patra. One of the Bhagavats is the great scripture Śrīmad Bhagavatam, and the other is the pure devotee absorbed in the mellows of loving devotion. So there's the Śrīmad Bhagavatam and the Bhakta Bhagavatam.
The book Bhagavatam and the devotee Bhagavatam.
Yes. Dui Bhagavata Dwara Diya Bhakti Ras Tahar hridoye tar preme hoye vash. Through the actions of these two Bhagavats, the Grantha Bhagavat and Bhakta Bhagavat, the Lord instills the mellows of transcendental loving service into the heart of a living being. And thus the Lord, in the heart of his devotee, comes under the control of the devotee's love. Same chapter, verse 100. So there are two types of sadhus. Now back to my Param Gurudev. He says there are two types of sadhus. The Shastras, the scriptures, and the Bhaktas, the devotees. Both of these perform kirtan. The Shastras, the scriptures perform kirtan, and the devotees perform kirtan. That is, both can glorify the topics of Bhagavan and his bhaktas. Shastras and bhaktas are the only friends and well-wishers of the jivas, and therefore, they are the very life of the jivas. Those who are intelligent, who always engage in the search for truth and the path of eternal well-being, cannot live without the association of sadhus and shastras. We always have to be in the association of sadhus, also in the association of shastras. With firm vows, they follow sadachar, conduct leading to truth, in the form of steadfastly rejecting asat-saṅga and eagerly taking sat-saṅga. Therefore, they always endeavor to have the saṅga of Bhakta Bhagavat. In the absence of sadhu-saṅga, they take the association of shastra. Okay, so when we're in the absence of sadhu-saṅga, then we take the association of shastra. The conscious entity, or jiva, cannot live without association throughout the 24 hours. If one does not always have sadhu-saṅga, both externally and internally, he will surely have to accept asat-saṅga. Can either be in sat-saṅga or asat-saṅga. We have to associate with something, so it's either going to be something that's sat, that's pure and transcendental, spiritual, or it's going to be asat, something mundane, material. When at any time the saṅga of the Bhagavat, of the bhakta, of the devotee, is not available to us, what other means remains for our auspiciousness than accepting Śāstrīya Sādhu-saṅga? Our intelligence cannot be firmly fixed in Krishna without sadhu-saṅga. Therefore, what benefit will we derive through sense enjoyment performed on the pretense of service that is devoid of the guidance of sadhu and shastra? What benefit will there be by remaining indifferent to sadhu-saṅga, wherein sat-siddhānta is discussed? The saṅga, the association, or the anugatya, the guidance of the sadhu, is service indeed. The Harikatha emanating from the lotus mouth of the sadhu, his Shastra Katha, alone attracts us towards the lotus feet of Hari, Guru, and Vaiṣṇavas. Therefore, those who are intelligent always keep their minds and life absorbed in the discussion and service of the Katha of Sadhu and Shastra. Those who are intelligent always keep their minds and their very life absorbed in the discussion and the discussion and service of the Katha of Sadhu and Shastra. We certainly invite inauspiciousness by showing indolence towards such discussion. Our previous Acharya, Srila Kabiraj Gosvāmī Prabhu, has said in Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita, Siddhanta bolia chitte na koro alas, iha hoite Krishne lage sudrida manas. That's Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 2, verse 117. A sincere student should not neglect the discussion of such conclusions, considering them controversial. For such discussions strengthen the mind. Thus, one's mind becomes attached to Sri Krishna. This is the BBT translation. Because actually the Bengali doesn't directly say anything about anything being controversial. It just says, Siddhanta bolia chitte na koro alas. One should not be lazy when it comes saying, oh, it's just Siddhanta. So in one's heart, one should not be lazy. But no, by Siddhanta, by discussing Siddhanta, then one's mind becomes sudrida, becomes very firmly attached to Sri Krishna. Hari, Guru, and Vaishnav. These are all adhokshaj, beyond the mundane realm, and are nitya sevya vastu, eternally the objects of our service. Their conscious and spiritually enlivening words alone are Shastra. Therefore, so that's an interesting thing, huh? Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas, these are all adhokshaj. They are beyond the mundane realm. They are nitya sevya vastu. They are eternally objects. They're eternally the objects of our service. And so their conscious and spiritually enlivening words alone are Shastra. Shastra depends on our faith. So for a Christian, the Bible is the ultimate Shastra. And for us, the words of our Goswāmīs, especially topmost is Śrīmad Bhagavatam, but then also the words of our Goswāmīs, that's Shastra, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and all these, and also like the words of Śrīla Prabhupāda, the words of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur Prabhupada, like Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Thakur, because we have faith in these personalities, so we accept their words to be Shastra as well. Therefore, the Shastras are also adhokshaj and nitya, because Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas are adhokshaj and nitya, so the Shastras are adhokshaj and nitya. They are beyond the mundane realm, and they are eternal objects of our service. Not knowing this, if we consider Shastra, Shri Murti, the Vigrahas, Shri Nam, and the Vaishnavas as entities of the mundane realm composed of 5 elements, and thus neglect them, we will surely be drowned in the mud of offenses and will remain deprived of their service. If we fail to cultivate and discuss the topics of sadhu and shastra, then, being overpowered by the urge of speech, we will be unable to restrain ourselves from discussing the unreal topics of this world, either openly or secretly. God, they're speaking so loud outside. You can't hear it because I have noise suppression turned on, but it's like ridiculously loud. It's hard to concentrate. Anyways, but this is the sentence. If we fail to cultivate and discuss the topics of sadhu and shastra, then being overpowered by the urge of speech, we'll be unable to restrain ourselves from discussing the unreal topics of this world, either openly or secretly. Therefore, it is imperative for an intelligent person to endeavor to hear the glories of Shastra from the devotees who are well versed in their imports, even if he himself has no desire to discuss Shastra. So even if the intelligent person has himself has no desire to discuss Shastra, still he must hear the glories of Shastra from the devotees who are well versed in their imports. I guess, yeah, okay. One gradually develops ruchi for chanting Shri Nam by faithfully chanting with great respect and shraddha. Similarly, one develops firm faith and ruchi in the statements of scriptures by regularly discussing scripture under the guidance of sadhu and guru. At that time, the jiva acquires the fortune of realizing shastras to be his shelter and very life. At that time, he cannot live without the association of the book Bhagavat and devotee Bhagavat, and their association becomes the only object of his prayers and discussion. We do not always get the association of living sadhus. Therefore, supremely compassionate Prabhupada, my Acharya Dev, mercifully wrote to his followers. He said, "Without performing Hari Bhajan, a jiva will become a karmi, a jnani, and anyabhilashi, covetous for motives other than Krishna. One should therefore constantly call Bhagavan by chanting the Maha Mantra. By loudly performing kirtan of Krishna Nam, maintaining a fixed number of rounds, one becomes free from anarthas and his mundane propensities will be dispelled." This is also Srila Sarasvatī Thakur Prabhupada. He says, "Śāstrīya Sādhu-saṅga," so Sādhu-saṅga in the form of Shastra, is proper. In other words, It is the beginning stage of one's sadhan. A sadhak must keep himself confined within the standards of Vaidhi Bhakti set by sadhus in Shastra. Afterwards, for the purpose of bhajan shiksha, one is at liberty for sadhu-saṅga. When one reaches the higher stage of raganuga bhajan, then he can approach a swajatya asya snigdha sadhu for bhajan shiksha and perform his bhajan under his guidance and instructions, which may be independent from the norms of any shastra. Srila Sarasvatī Thakur Prabhupada continues, you should attentively study the spiritual magazines. As you get time, you must study and discuss Kalyana Kalpataru. And the entire Kalyana Kalpataru will be in the Gaudiya Gita Gotra soon. Prarthana by Narottam Das Thakur, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and so on. You will be able to attain all perfection by offenselessly chanting. Shri Nam reveals himself when one hears, studies, and discusses Shastra. The anarthas that you have at present will not become intense if you intensely perform Shravan and Kirtan. Now, my Param Gurudev, he continues. Krishna Kirtan alone is the jiva's dharma, the jiva's constitutional occupation. This Krishna Kirtan is of four kinds. There's Nam Kirtan, Rup Sankirtan, Nam Sankirtan, Rup Sankirtan, Guna Sankirtan, and Parikar Vasishtamaya Lila Kirtan. The last one is Kirtan of pastimes saturated with the speciality of Krishna's associates. We are ignorant about Krishna, and therefore to perform Krishna Kirtan, which is the sole occupation of the jiva, is impossible for us. Because we're ignorant about Krishna, so therefore how can we perform Kirtan of Krishna, which is our sole occupation? Therefore, Śrī Vedavyas, being overwhelmed with mercy towards foolish jivas like us, has composed Śrīmad Bhagavatam for our welfare. By discussing this Parahangsi Samhita, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, bhakti towards Purushottam Krishna at once appears and dispels lamentation, delusion, and fear. Srila Shukadev Gosvāmī, the crest jewel of liberated persons, studied the Śrīmad Bhagavatam from Srila Vedavyas. Bhagavan himself sends Shastras in the form of Sadhu and Guru, because we are forgetful of Krishna. Is our path of auspiciousness then not obstructed if we do not respect or show eagerness to discuss such Shastras, which are full of auspiciousness, and which were written and composed only for our welfare? Being completely unaware of these facts, it is proper for us to make, being unaware of all these facts, is it proper for us to make sarcastic remarks towards those who are following their lives according to Shastra and Sadhus, those who are well-versed in Bhaktisiddhānta, and those who hold Gurudev more dear than their own self? For the welfare of the jivas, the bhaktas, the devotees, have painstakingly and with great difficulties written Shastra. If, however, we do not discuss and study them, are we not guilty of the fault of neglect? Those who have priti, who have love for Hari, Guru, and Vaiṣṇavas, cannot live without priti, without love for Shastras. In other words, they will surely have priti for Shastras also. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu, he has given us specific instructions for discussing Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita and other scriptures. A wise person should certainly discuss all these topics. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 20, verse 122. Maya mugda jiver nahi swata Krishna gyan jivere kripaya koila jivere kripaya koila Krishna Ved Puran. That should be kripaya, not kripaya. The conditioned soul cannot receive his Krishna consciousness by his own effort. Therefore, by his causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and its supplements, the Puranas. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Yeah, I already said that. Okay. And now this is the next verse in Madhya Lila chapter 20. Shastra Guru Atma Rupe Apanare Janana Krishna Mor Prabhu Trata Jiver Hoy Jnana. So yeah, the conditioned soul cannot revive his Krishna consciousness by his own effort, and therefore by his causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and it supplements the Puranas. The forgetful conditioned soul is educated by Krishna through the Vedic literatures, the realized spiritual master, and the super soul. Through these, he can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as he is, and he can understand that Lord Krishna is the eternal master and deliverer from the clutches of Maya. In this way, one can acquire real knowledge of his conditioned life and can come to understand how to attain liberation. So these three forms, Shastra, Guru, Atma. Krishna manifests in these three forms. And now this is the same chapter, but verse 120. So before these two verses, or three verses. Sadhu Shastra Kripai Jadi Krishnonmukha hoy She Jiva Nistare Maya Tahare Chadai Chadai. Yeah. If the conditioned soul becomes Krishna conscious by the mercy of saintly persons who voluntarily preach scriptural injunctions and help him to become Krishna conscious, the conditioned soul is liberated from the clutches of Maya, who gives him up. Oh, Maya Tahare Chadai. Maya gives him up, that person. In this world, there is immense facility to hear mundane talks, but there is a great scarcity of Harikatha. Therefore, everyone should become eager to hear Harikatha. In other words, to discuss Shastra. This is my prayer to everyone. Translated from Sri Gaudiya Patrika, year 10, issue 11. Everyone should become eager to hear Harikatha, in other words, to discuss Shastra. This is my prayer to everyone. All right, so what time is it? We have 5 minutes, which is perfect.
I think Madhya Lila chapter 20 is loaded with this. Right?
Yeah, really? It was loaded with comments on this. Here are a couple things I found from Srila Prabhupada. It's not too long. 1 second, let me just make this bigger. I just found it, like, I was actually a little bit over time when I found this. Like this 16. And give this a black background. Hey, how come it's not turning black? Huh. Anyhow, you can still see it. So I just found this on Vānipedia. So this is from Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada, from this section, Hearing the Revealed Scriptures. So Srila Prabhupada says, according to Srila Rupa Gosvāmī, any book which gives enlightenment in the matter of advancing in devotional service is considered to be revealed scripture. Srila Madhvacharya has also defined revealed scriptures as referring to books such as Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas, Upanishads, Vedanta, and any other literature written in pursuance of such revealed scriptures. In the Skanda Purana, there is this statement: a person who is constantly engaged in reading literature, enunciating the cultivation of Vaiṣṇava devotional service, is always glorious in human society, and certainly Lord Krishna becomes pleased with him. A person who very carefully keeps such literature at home and offers respectful obeisances to it becomes freed from all sinful reactions and ultimately becomes worshipable by the demigods. So not just keeping this these transcendental literatures at home, but also offering obeisances to them. You do this, then you become free from all sinful reactions and ultimately becomes worshipful by the demigods. It is also said to Narad Muni, my dear Narad, a person who writes Vaishnava literature and keeps such literature at home has Lord Narayan always residing in his house. In Śrīmad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 13th chapter, verse 15, it is stated, Śrīmad Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy. Any person who has become attached in some way or other to the reading of Śrīmad Bhagavatam cannot have any taste for reading any other literature. In other words, a person who has relished the transcendental bliss of Śrīmad Bhagavatam cannot be satisfied with mundane writings. And then in Madhya Lila 2271, Srila Prabhupada says, in his purports, he says, the second-class devotee, even though he cannot support his position with Shastric reference, can gradually become a first-class devotee by studying the Shastras and associating with a first-class devotee. However, if the second-class devotee does not advance himself by associating with a first-class devotee, he makes no progress. So those are a couple quotes from Srila Prabhupada on studying Shastra and Sadhu-saṅga. And now, here are some quotes by Srila Vāmana Gosvāmī Mahārāja. This is from the book, A True Servant, a True Master. And these are all the letters written by Srila Bhaktivedānta Vāmana Gosvāmī Mahārāja. For those of you who don't know Srila Vāmana Gosvāmī Mahārāja, he is, he's, well, Harinam disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur Prabhupada, but he only identified himself as being a disciple of Srila Bhaktivedānta Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja. He said, he is my everything. And even though he was a direct Harinam disciple, he'd say, no, Srila Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur Prabhupada is my Param Gurudev, because Srila Bhaktivedānta Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja is my Gurudev. And so, yeah. And he joined the Mat permanently when he was 9 years old. Never returned home. Okay, so for poets, novelists, and literatures, is that how you say it? Literature? I don't know. Discussions on the nature of God constitute the utmost limit of their pursuits. If connoisseurs of literature and lovers of poetry do not accept the subject of God as the focus of their deliberations, theirs is a fruitless toil. Hence, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, the king of sacred scriptures, says, that discourse or literature, no matter how eloquent, which never extols the glories of Vāsudev, sanctifier of universes, is likened by scholars to be a place of pilgrimage for crows. This is because saints who abound in Parabrahma, the Supreme Being, take no delight in such discourses. In the kingdom of mundane pleasures, conditioned souls read and promote books concerned with gross sensuality. Transcendental poets and literatures, seeing if there's a, transcendental poets and literatures, adept in Bhagavad Ras, display only disinterest in this mundane poetry and literature, knowing it all to be but fleeting ventures averse to the service of Hari. On the other hand, utterances that extol Bhagavan's glorious Shri Nam may not maintain perfect tune, beat, tempo, and meter at every progression. But those utterances destroy people's sinful tendencies. That is all that saintly personalities hear, recite, and remember daily, thus reaping ultimate benefit for their souls. Utterances that do not describe Shri Krishna's pastimes, the various topics bereft of Bhagavan's glories that are propagated around the world, offer nothing for the scrutiny of any intelligent person. That was a letter that Srila Vāmana Gosvāmī Mahārāja wrote to Umadidi in 1970. Okay, here's another one, and I see it's already 8:02. There's just a couple more quotes though. We'll go like a couple minutes more, and then we'll stop. This is another letter. He says, as long as the jiva fails to mold his life in correlation with the conclusions of scripture, he will always end up following the wrong path. And then in another letter written in 1975, he says, if one follows the instructions and ordinances of Śrī Bhagavān, if one follows the instructions and ordinances Śrī Bhagavān has installed in the scriptures to the best of one's ability and fashions a life in accordance with them, then one's attraction to him increases. This is an interesting quote right here, because we were just hearing from, hearing what we do when we're not in association of sadhus, then we should read the scriptures. But this is another point. If you hear from the worshipful mouths of the Vaiṣṇavas, then you will readily understand whatever you do not understand in your reading. This is because their words and utterances retain a special potency. Scripture recommends seeking the company of the sadhus through their literatures only when one is bereft of direct sat-saṅga. Sadhu, Guru, and Vaiṣṇavas carry Śrī Bhagavān in their hearts. The sadhus are Bhagavan's heart, and Bhagavan is the sadhu's heart. Therefore, Vaiṣṇavas are adepts and veritable encyclopedias of the essence of all of Bhagavan's instructions. But yeah, this point here, scripture recommends seeking the company of the sadhus through their literatures only when one is bereft of direct sat-saṅga. I mean, I don't think of course we read Shastra in the company of sadhus as well. So he's not saying that we don't take shelter of Shastra when we're, but he's saying that, like, I think the point is, if there's a sadhu, like a genuine sadhu, and they're giving Harikatha, then we have to seek their association. We don't just think, oh, it's okay, I'm just going to stay home and read Srimad Bhagavatam instead. But no, we have to hear, there's a special potency coming from the Shastra, which is coming from the lips of sadhus, and we should never neglect that. Okay, this is written in 1988, this letter. He says, every person who is thirsty for bhajan has accepted the crest jewel of all evidence, Srimad Bhagavatam, the sovereign scripture, as the greatest word of proof, Sheshtra Shabda Praman. And then in 1992, he said, even if one cannot remember anything, studying scripture and discussing it is a vital duty. Even if you can't remember anything, still we must study scripture and discuss it. So don't feel, don't feel down or anything if you can't remember anything. Still, it's our vital duty to read and discuss. Okay, now this is a letter that he wrote to Umudidi in 1970. This is the last one. If there is difficulty in receiving teachings and instructions from sadhu and guru in person, scripture grants the provision of associating with sadhus in the form of sacred texts. The lives and words of exalted personalities are synonymous. Should the sadhak and sadhika study and discuss them, they reap the ultimate welfare for their souls. That's a really nice one, huh? The lives and words of exalted personalities are synonymous. Should the sadhak and sadhika study and discuss them, they reap the ultimate welfare for their souls. That was written in 1970. All right, so that is our program for today. I'll do just short Mahamantra and short Jayadvani, and then if anybody has anything they want to discuss, it can do so. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Jai Śrīla Gurudev Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Vāmana Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Keśava Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Śrīla Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Swapashad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopikan ki jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai. All the Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All the scriptures of our Goswamis and everybody following in our Goswamis ki jai. All of our Vaishnava literature ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keśava Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams Ndri Hari Prabhu Bhavatarani Mataji Archana Mataji Sarveshwari Mataji Chatamai Mataji Rukmini Didi Gokuleshwari Didi. On YouTube and Facebook there's 17 people. Wow. That's a lot, more than normal. I only see the names of those who wrote comments. So I see Pranams Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Phuleshwari Didi, Mahi Bharat Prabhu, Vangshiwala Prabhu, Raseshwari Mataji, Vidyalala Didi, Shripad Bhaktivedānta Sajan Maharaj, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Braj Lovers, Vrinda Didi, Hari Mohini Didi, and everybody else. Also pranams to all devotees watching in the future. Thank you so much for joining. I think tomorrow we will read this book called Krishna Bhajanamritam, which was written by Narahari Sarkar Thakur, and Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur has a commentary on it. I've never read it before. It's not too long. It's, I think, 10,000 words altogether. So I think it'd only take like a couple days to read it all. But yeah, we can read that. And just for fun to read something interesting, new. And then after that, I don't know what the next program will be. Lots of devotees, some devotees with us here right now, like Sareshwari Mataji was, and Indira Mataji were requesting Bhajan Rahasya, which I'm considering. Bhajan Rahasya is a much bigger book, but yeah, I mean, we just read Harinam Chintamani, and Bhajan Rahasya goes together with Harinam Chintamani. So it's also like, yeah, I don't know.
What about Prema Vivarta?
Prema Vivarta is very nice. 2 people suggested Prema Vivarta actually, and now you're the 3rd person. So yeah, there is a translation done by Chaitanya Saraswat Mat of Prema Vivarta, and it has the Bengali also. I always like when the Bengali is there so that we can always look for it. So yeah, maybe Prema Vivarta by Jagadananda Pandit, right? And then what was another thing? Oh, and then what I was thinking would be nice is to read Shikshashtakam with Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary on that, which is also Bhajan Rahasya that goes together with Bhajan Rahasya. Maybe that's what we should do, Bhajan Rahasya and Shikshashtakam. Maybe Shikshashtakam first and then Bhajan Rahasya. Because then, anyways, yeah. Because that seems more like an introduction to Bhajan Rahasya than like, seems like the order makes sense like that.
I'm all for Prema Vivarta too. Count us in.
Okay, number 4. four requests. 3 requests for Bhajan Rahasya, 4 requests for Prema Vivarta. Okay,
both of them, but I'd like to hear Prema.
Okay, 4 requests for both books. Okay. Okay, yeah. I mean, really what I want to get to is the Bhaktivinoda Kirtitara program, going through all the kirtans of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That's what I really want to do, but that requires a little bit of preparation, which I have no time for preparation now. I should give all my time to the songbook. So, yeah. Right, but we've been focused on only Bhaktivinoda Thakur stuff now for quite a while. I think, I don't know. I think in a few months, then it will have been a full year. I have to see when we started. I think we started the Bhaktivinoda Kirtitara program on Gadadhar Pandit's appearance day, which is, I don't think it's too far away. So yeah, that would be like a full year of just Bhaktivinoda Thakur. That's really cool. All right.
Hare
And
Krishna,
we
Prabhu.
haven't even scratched the surface, and we've spent a year and we haven't even scratched the surface of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's writing. So it's like so unlimited. Yes, Chatamai Mataji. Yes.
Haribol, Prabhu. I placed 2 questions in the chat, wondering if you
Oh,
have time
sorry,
to look at them.
I didn't even notice. Sorry. Okay, so it says, is Jaiva Dharma considered a revealed scripture? And then the next question is, what portion of time to devote to Srimad Bhagavatam study when there are so many other books such as Goswami's writings to read? Okay, so what does revealed scripture, does that mean like Svata Siddha? Maybe Rukmini Didi or somebody else here, let it be revealed scriptures. What is the actual meaning of revealed? Yeah, I don't actually know what the meaning of revealed scriptures means. The precise meaning of the word revealed in this.
It was discussed in the last article saying Srimad Bhagavatam is revealed scripture, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and then it went on to add and other such scriptures. So, what is the delineation?
Okay, revealed. So yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% clear on the word revealed, but that's what you were just saying. So like the Mahabharata was revealed and like that. So, I mean, I know that Shastra, what we consider scriptures, depends, like what we discussed before, is like it depends on your faith, really. Like if you have faith in Śrīla Prabhupāda, then Śrīla Prabhupāda's words are considered Shastra for us.
Ah, that's a very nice delineation. It's beautiful.
And
Yeah,
so that's the example I gave. Like for a Christian, they have faith in the Bible. So for the Christian, the Bible is considered Shastra. It really depends on your faith.
I see. I've read Jaiva Dharma. I'm on my 4th or 5th time through it now, and it's fabulous. It's just, it must be revealed scripture because it's consonant with everything else, and it consolidates so many other sources all in one book. So yes, I have great faith in Jaiva Dharma.
And wasn't it in the first verse of Dashmula Tattva that we memorized? That was what do we consider praman? Praman means the means of receiving true knowledge. Or the means for gaining, the means of knowledge. What do we consider praman is the Swata Siddha Veda, so the self-substantiated Vedas, which are received in a sat sampradaya by recipients of Sri Hari's mercy, so through the Guru Parampara. So we accept their words of the scriptures. That's what we consider as our means for gaining knowledge. That's what we consider Shastra, right? So we don't read, the Vedas are very vast, and there's all kinds of things in the Vedas for people of different qualifications. So it's not that we just like embrace every single thing that's the Vedas, but we accept those things in the Vedas which come in the Sat Sampradaya to the recipients of Sri Hari's mercy, the Guru Parampara, their words. That's what we consider praman.
And if these acharyas come in disciplic succession, then their words are also consonant with revealed scriptures. Okay.
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. And then the next, yes.
It comes to mind in Gauravani Pracharine, the book by Srila Narayan Mahārāja, where he pretty much is talking about Dasamuda, but he says that the Lord Chaitanya said, my scripture is Srimad Bhagavatam, and my worshipful Lord Shama Sundar. So, and then, so that's revealed to us through our Gurudev line, Guru's line, and what was it in our in your prayers at the beginning? We call Bhaktivedānta Thakur the Emperor of Shastras. Yes.
Yes.
We read somewhere else how he was called to the heavens to discuss. You remember about?
He had a dream. He had a dream, right?
And he was called. So all that, like you said, is all personal and eternal, nitya. So they haven't disappeared. Like this example of looking at a window and somebody goes by, before and after they pass by the window, are they existing or not?
Yes.
So,
even though we don't see them, it doesn't mean that they're not completely 100% there.
Right. Or
Our
like the
vision of
sun
them is,
appears, disappears, but it's always there.
yeah. And just the point, like with what does it mean to associate with scriptures? Just like everything that we say, that we've been reading about yesterday, also about what's the methodology of getting the association of sadhus. So having sadhu-saṅga doesn't just mean being around sadhus and massaging their feet and doing different things. That's not real. That's not like the actual methodology of sadhu-saṅga. But sadhu-saṅga means to well, I maybe I'm not saying exactly as we read it, but like that they're words that are coming to us, that we completely submit to their words, and we try to, in a mood.
Like difference between Vapu and Vani?
Yes, difference
Vapu
between Vapu
Seva and
and Vani.
Vani Seva.
Yes, and so with the scriptures as well, it's not that there's a process for how to associate with
What
scriptures.
is the scripture and by the
Yeah, like we don't just open up Śrīmad Bhagavatam to gain knowledge. If we just open it up to like memorize verses and be able to quote lots of stuff, and even just to have an understanding of the philosophy, no, that's not the way. We offer pranam. Srila Prabhupada said that we should offer pranam to these literatures and approach them like we would approach Sri Gurudev, approach any pure sadhu, with that mood of surrender and humility, and reading and looking at the scripture in a personal way, that this was written for me. And every word in here is an instruction specifically for me. And I need to, and we read it with that mood of sincerity and surrender and, like that. And that's how we engage in the same thing for how we associate with sadhus, the same way we associate with scriptures and like that.
Shāstras. And how he had a dream where he goes to heaven. He went to Bhaktivedānta Thakur to discuss a verse. They asked him.
Were you speaking to Bhavatarani Mataji just now?
Oh, I'm sorry, I left the mic open.
Your mic was on. No worries.
My apologies.
No worries. No worries. Oh wait, and I see there's one more thing from Chatamai Mataji. What portion of time to devote to Śrīmad Bhagavatam study when there are so many other books such as the Gosvāmi's writings to read? Well, yeah, I mean, Śrīmad Bhagavatam is, for all Vaiṣṇavas, that is the ultimate scripture. Like that is our main thing, and everything is helping us to understand Śrīmad Bhagavatam, right? Like our main process is chanting Harinam, and everything that we do is to help our chanting of Harinam. And same thing, like everything we read is helping us to go. But Śrīmad Bhagavatam is our life and soul. But I don't know if there's like a particular like set answer to that. Like we should, like how much time we should spend. I think it's always different, like maybe spend some time initially focusing just on Śrīmad Bhagavatam, but then going through other, like we should read everything also. And that's why our acharyas put so much effort, and it's not feasible to like read everything every day. So as long as and we know that all the words of our acharyas is also like commentaries of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. That's like, everything's ultimately directed towards Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So I think it depends. Archana Mataji, yes.
So we kind of came to a solution for this. What we do is, we have a set of books which we like.
Is this in reference to like how much time we should devote to Śrīmad Bhagavatam?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like kind of we have a set of books. Of course, Śrīmad Bhagavatam is the topmost, but then we have up to our liking. So we have like around 10 books or 10 to 15 books, which we keep aside. And every day we start off with the Bhagavatam. We read a few shlokas on the Bhagavatam, and then we read from each of these books a page or two. So, so you have that flavor of all the books, that I have read all the books, and then some things also kind of resonate with you in your day-to-day things. Like for today, we read from Srila Prabhupada Shikshamrita, and I read a letter to Bhavatarini Mataji. I don't know whether.
About Bhavatarini Mataji?
Yes. So I
Oh,
was
really?
remembering Bhavatarini Mataji.
Who's with us right now? That's so cool.
With us right now. So I remembered her, and I was thinking, wow, it's a nice, it was a nice thing. Like, every day we read from a set of books. So if you feel that you want to read all the books and you cannot, then you can keep them aside and then read a page or two. It won't take long.
That's nice.
It's really nice.
Thank you,
I
Mataji.
I have two
Thank
letters, two personal letters from Prabhupada. Which one were you reading?
Okay, can I read that? I'll say.
Yeah.
Maybe it's to you. If you would like to come to India, you will be most welcome. The sites at Mayapur and Vrindavan are just for my American and European students who can come and get the benefit of these holy places. You seem to have taken a new grasp on Krishna consciousness when you say, as for where to live, my only concern is now to live where I can best serve you. A pure devotee actually has no problems for himself. Wherever he is, he can read books like Krishna book and chant Hare Krishna, get some prasadam, and always think of Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj prayed like that. I have no problem for myself. The only concern of the devotees is that so many rascals are suffering in this concocted civilization of illusory sense enjoyment. How can they be saved? So our Krishna consciousness movement is made for that, saving the rascals. This donation you are making in all sincerity will also help us to push on and make some effect in bringing persons back home, back to Godhead. I will be glad to hear from you how you have disbursed the money and how you are settling up your personal situation. Srila Prabhupada to Bhavatarini Mataji, 4th May 1974.
Oh, that was the first letter. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
So that was
here,
that was very helpful, Archana Didi. Thank you so much.
so
Thank you, Archana Didi.
thank you.
Thank you.
So the Krishna book, like Krishna book, is Śrīmad
Śrīmad
Bhagavatam.
Mhm.
I was saying that the other day.
Oh, okay.
And then Srila Prabhupada also installed in our temples that every morning we had a class on Śrīmad Bhagavatam. And we sometimes had a class on Bhagavad Gita, but every morning we had Bhagavatam class. But then he considered the Chaitanya Charitamrita to be the postgraduate study of the Śrīmad Bhagavatam.
For students.
And so he
So
wanted
it's-
to make sure that he gave us that before he left us. But that's why I was asking if maybe this group, we could read Krishna book sometime.
We have to do it at some point. Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yes.
Maybe if I request Bhavatarini Mataji may give her darshan to us.
Darshan.
Darshan.
You show your face.
Oh, put my face. I don't know how to do it on this phone.
Oh, here.
No, I don't.
You don't want to.
Well, I don't have a T-lock.
Haribol. Dandavat pranam.
Haribol.
Hari Hari.
Thank you, Mataji. You're so beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, Haribol. Thank you.
You
Chandra.
have to bless Cecilia.
Haribol. Hare
Sure.
Krishna. All right, so that is
Mataji, this is my Prabhu.
Haribol.
Darshan.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
He wants to ask.
This is a question to Narahari Prabhu. Are you the same Narahari Prabhu featured in the Back to Godhead magazine many, many years ago, preaching in the different Hawaiian islands?
You're muted. Prabhu, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Ah,
Okay. No, it's a god brother of ours.
okay.
His name is Prabhupada named him Narahari.
And you're
Okay.
Narihari.
I'm Narihari.
Narahari.
Yeah. Now, Srila Narayan Maharaj nicknamed me Narahari. He used to call me Narahari.
Okay.
The
After,
mother of the ashram.
yeah, he said it. Oh, I shouldn't speak like that.
No, he said,
Can't see my glories.
no, but he was talking about the Narahari.
Yeah, he spoke
in
about
his
Narahari
group.
Sarkar, not Sarkar, Narahari Seva Vigraha, disciple of Bhaktisiddhānta Sarasvatī Thakur, how he cared for devotees at the ashram, and so they used to call them the mother of the ashram,
I see. Okay.
even of children and like that.
So he nicknamed you Narahari.
I don't know how was receptive of this great mercy of Gurudev having some, liking or his mercy was showered on me undeservedly. But
Okay. Thank you, bro. Nice seeing you.
thank you. Sorry about my
No
appearance and no tilak and like that. I've been I'm still have operations to go through and like that. I've been recuperating. So.
Take care of
Sometimes
yourself.
sometimes
Take care.
later it's later in the day for us. Lunch is over and then it's almost evening. And
the
we
tilak
didn't,
kinda rub
our
off.
tilak washes off and we don't replace it.
So-
But Bhaktivedānta Thakur said
You
that,
look at your heart.
he said a face
Forget
without
about the
tilak.
tilaks.
Yeah, a face without tilak is like a slaughterhouse.
Oh my.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So wonderful.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
good to see
everyone.
you and not get to
So
know.
beautiful.
Thank you
Yes,
for
thank
your
you.
association, Prabhu.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
So it's now 8:30. I think this is a good time to end the program for today. And tomorrow
Thank
we
you.
will begin Krishna Bhajanamrita, which I've never read before. And it's total going to be it's an adventure. So thank you so much for joining, everybody, and see you all tomorrow.
Thank you
Hari
so
Bol.
much, Madhukar Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare
Oh,
Krishna.
beautiful. Thank you, everyone. All glories to your
Thank you.
service.
Thank you, Chaitanya Mataji.
Thank you all.
Jai. All glories to your service.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, and I see a bunch of comments on YouTube. It's a bit late now, so I'm going to look at the comments. I just took a screenshot and I'll respond to them later. But yeah, thank you, everybody.